Alright guys, Team will be on here. We're here to talk about Kagero. More precisely, the Purge. This is Purge.deck. I would rather play the Cross or the X, but I am forced to run the Legends because I don't have any the Crosses at the moment, or the Ends. So we'll go to our Forerunner, Strong Row, or Wizard Soldier Conroe. Retire itself, put it into drop, grab a grade 1 or lower, and put it into your hands. Really good. 4 copies of the Destiny. Destiny is really good. First of its skills is when this card is placed on Vanguard Circle or at the beginning of your beginning of your turn, beginning of your raid phase. You may Soul Blast 1 and then choose a circle and then put whatever card is in that circle to the drop zone. So this gets around resist. This also is a way out to quote unquote out against Winged Joker, being that you can target your own cards as well, since it doesn't say specifically your opponent or yourself. So we're running 4 of it. We're also one of its skills is Canvas 1. Whenever you stride and help with this card, you may look at the top 7, grab an Overlord Vanguard, or grab an Overlord card and put it to your hand. If you do, you get a kill off a card in your opponent's field. So that does not get around resist. The first effect does. Next for the grade 3s, we're running 4 copies of the Legend. Again, we're running the Legend for obvious one reason is most of the cards in this deck revolve around the grade 4 centric build. Where if we're running that type of build, you have to be running this card. For the fact of this card can get to the grade 3 grade 4 status really quickly, being that you just have to Canvas 1, and also drop a grade 3 Flame Dragon, and then it gets the ability to become a grade 4 with all the benefits. So and the restand. Next off, we're going to talk about is Nahalms. We're running 4 copies of Nahalms. Again, like whenever your grade 4 Overlord attacks, I think. No, just yeah. Whenever your grade 4 Overlord attacks, it gets plus 5k for every single time it does attack. And the continuous, if you attack with at all, if you have an Overlord Vanguard, it gets plus 2k. So it's an 11k attacker, but with after your Vanguard swings. It becomes a 16, then 21, which is really good. We're running 3 Dragonic Burnouts. Again, like recycle ability and the fact of you get to retire another card. Not much to say about it. Running 2 copies of Burning Horn. So first skill is Soul Blast 1. Choose a Overlord card in your hand and then reveal it. Then you choose a card that's in the same column as this card and retire it. And then second effect is when you have a grade 4 Overlord, it gets plus 2k for every damage your opponent has. Next off we're talking about is 2 Glow Heater Dragon. Kind of the same effect as the first one. Whenever you write it, you may reveal a grade 3 Overlord. And then if you don't reveal or you don't, if you don't have it, it gets minus 5k. This is when it's called or raided. So yeah, and then second effect is the same effect as the second effect of Glow Heat of Burning Horn of Wood. Next off, we're gonna talk about is 4 copies of Flare Trooper Dungeon. Perfect guard effects, casual. Second effect is Blaze, which is also casual. Last effect is whenever you have another copy of it itself in the drop zone, if you have a GB3 or GB1 active, it gets plus 15k. So again, like very good in any situation. So yeah. Next off, we're gonna talk about is 4 copies of Wizard General Conroe or Strong Row. Whenever you call it, you may choose reveal grade 3 in your hand and then grab an Overlord and then ditch whatever card. Second effect is act, retire this card, choose a Vanguard, and whenever it does attack, you counter charge 2, which is really good. This is why you don't really need one flippers besides itself. But again, like just in case, you might want to add some. 3 copies of Lava Flow Dragon, again just to pitch for Stride. Running 3 copies of Doombringer High Flame. So this effect is whenever you write it, call it, may choose up to 2 Overlord cards and then put them back into deck. And then if you choose 1, you may shuffle. If you choose 2, after you shuffle, you draw a card. Second effect is when it's already on board, you retire it. Then at the beginning of your next ride phase, you may pay the cost, which is that effect. Until the end of the turn, you may stride without paying the cost. So this card already has to be out on board for you to even retire it for the free stride. So the next cards we're going to talk about is the heals. So we're running these heals, but you can opt out and switch it for the new heals from set 13. I like these heals because like since I am running the legend, I kind of want to make sure I grab my outs to like multiple decks. But again, like if you rather run the new heal just to have counter charge because you have counter charge issues, then yeah, run the new one. But I like this one just in case. I do have to use an Griffin and other cards like that. So running 4 crits, just for crits, for just crit sake. 3 copies of Inspire Yellow Dragon. There's some cards in here that have Blaze, so this card sometimes gets the proc, and I want to abuse the fact of basically most of my rear guards, or specifically my grade 2s, get insane amount of power, and so restanding them is like always a benefit for me. 3 copies of Gatling Claw for to get rid of Forerunners and stuff like that, and then 2 copies of the Margot clone. Once again, just to like have more soul, because with the legend and Destiny eats soul like it's candy for no apparent reason. So that ends off the main deck. I guess we'll go to our strides. And the strides are kind of easier to talk about. Let's start off with some of the old cards first, though. Running 4 copies of Ziegenberg. A lot of people still get confused about the part where Ziegenberg doesn't have to flip up itself for the restand. The only thing that makes you flip itself up would be the first effect where you Soul Blast 1 and kill a card. Everything else after that is like the actual costs of restanding, which is just G-BT13. Whenever this card does attack, you have to, after it does attack, you pay the cost, which is the counterblast 1, and you have to retire, discard as many cards as they have on board. So in general, really, you can technically restand with 4 times in a row. Like you can split these off as in just 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, and get off a total of 4 restands. That's a thing. So yeah, and it also has Blaze, so gets off all the other units that has Blaze as well, because that's how it works. 2 copies of the Ace. I know there's a combo where you can use it to flip itself twice, and then so you're automatically at GB3s for whenever you do go into your Drachma play. But again, like that's whatever. 2 copies of Novell. Again, just the finisher. If your opponent's at 5, you just go into this. And if they say no guard, then you automatically win. If they do guard, that's one card. That's one attack down. You got way more to go. Running the purge, the purge. So the effect of it is to act. You may choose the Overlord, or you flip up any card in your G zone. Then you choose the Overlord, play it in Soul. If you do, your opponent deals his or herself 1 damage, and that damage can be nullified. Second effect is G-BT13. Your drive check equals the amount of damage they have. So say if you are at G-BT3 and your opponent only has 0 damage for no apparent reason, and you can only do 0 drive checks when you use this card, which again you will never do because no one's that stupid enough to like do that. At least I don't think you are. Sorry if you are, but please tell me you know the rules. Once again, but you can use this before G-BT3. The card itself, because the act ability and the G-BT3 ability are completely different effects. So you can technically go into him, GB1, and then flip off another card, dealing 1 damage for free. You can do that. Like, no one's saying no, but like, if you're gonna use him post or on GB3 or anything after that, please let know that whatever damage he or she is at your opponent, you have to do that many drive checks. So once again, if anyone's doing relationship Vanguard, yes, if your opponent is at 8 damage, you do 8 drive checks. But again, no one in their right mind would think that 8 cards from your deck is a good idea. Because I guarantee you that you're going to deck out so fast during the late game. So if you ever think about doing this deck in Relationship Vanguard or Relation Vanguard, please be the second player. Do not be the last player to go up, because that's going to be like every single drive check, every single one of his turns is going to be like guaranteed like 10 cards out of your deck, and no one needs to do that to themselves. We are winning 1 Drachma. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Right. Once again, Drachma is a learning curve card where you have to know where your opponent's at in the state of the game. So this card's gonna take a lot of people. Like, a lot of people are gonna have to learn when to use this card and when not to use this card. For instance, if you know your opponent drove check like a bunch of grade 1s and grade 0s, you make sure you go into this because they can't perfect guard, or if they chose the grade 0 for whatever reason. But if they go into say they go into like a grade 0, like, fine, that's fine. Like, no perfect guards, that's easy. And they can't G guard if they're at grade anything below grade 3. So yeah, this is card like you have to learn where your opponent's game state's at to abuse this card. That's why we're really just running 1. Once again, you can run more, like to be the a-hole who just flips, like to show off his money while you use purge, flip this up. So you can technically win with this card. It's just you just have to know when to use it. Running 2 Denial Griffin. Again, Denial Griffin's really good. You just have to know when to use it and when not to. 1 Defeat Flare for the chances where you do like have a lot of Overlords in your drop, and then 1 copy of him. For the off chance that you did like blow up his field, and like the next that following turn he attacks you and he still has an open field, and you can just basically like, oh, I guard for free with a counter blast. I guess that's it for Overlord. I would like to do a profile on Blade Master, but I don't have any of the Blade Master cards. I would run Protectors, but I don't have any. So if you do want to send us some, feel free to text whoever is online at that moment and PM for the address. It's whatever. If you guys want to help us out, that's whatever. All right, that concludes the video. Like, comment, subscribe. Team Neo Beyond signing out.